Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to thank, first of all the office holders and members who participated in this debate. I also thank the Workers' Party for supporting most of the points that PSP have raised. I'm glad that based on the amended motion put forward by Mr. Edward Chia, all of us has agreed on the importance of safeguarding our hawker culture, which is an important national institution and cultural inheritance, and the need to provide to our hawkers, the need to provide help to our hawkers to continue to provide good and affordable food and earn a fair livelihood at the same time. I thank SMS Co, especially for the very comprehensive explanation of the government policies. I indeed learned a lot from it. However, I think to summarize my concerns, there are these following issues which I think if the government do not tackle further, the prospects and livelihoods of our hawkers will not improve that much and will threaten the sustainability of our hawker culture in the long term. So I hope the government will continue to consider these 4 points that I raised. Firstly, about the social enterprise model. I think so far we are still not sure what is the contribution, actual contribution made by the social enterprise model vis-a-vis the problems that the model has brought about. In PSP view, we think that the corporatized culture of a social enterprise model is actually not compatible with the free, sole proprietor spirit of individual hawkers. And if you take into consideration the possibility of conflict of interest between the private operator and he operating a social enterprise hawker center, we are of the view that it may be better off for experienced civil servants of our hawker centers group to actually provide more help to the management of the hawker centers. That's one of our points, and that's why we say bring the whole thing up as a Hawker Singapore new government agency. Second point, while we appreciate the advantages that SMS Co has shared with us about the tender system, but there's still an unanswered question as to why is there a need for the system to also cater for a renewal system that's so peculiar. Specifically, a high tender bid will be reduced to a lower assessed market rent after the initial 3 years. Is it not better off to have a system whereby the bidder continues to pay as he bid? Or after 3 years, a new bidding again, for the same store. So we still think that this way of, this kind of tender system did contribute to the escalating prices in our HDB coffee shops and food courts. And that is one of the major causes of escalating cooked food prices in the long run. Third point, we also disagree that while you allow the coffee shops and food courts to employ work permit holders, but you don't allow the individual hawkers to do so. In doing so, you are putting them at a disadvantage. And in order for us to actually preserve the distinctive Singaporean character of our hawker culture, we must ensure that our individual hawkers are competitive vis-a-vis the corporatized hawkers. If you disallow that to the individual hawkers, then you continue to make them the underdogs. And my last point, you may have a lot of competing objectives, but to impose budget meals and discounts to hawker meals, imposing the cost on the hawkers is an objective that you can do without. Okay, those are my main points that I would like to say. So, sir, in closing, 2 months ago, we debated a bill for an important group of essential workers that deserves our attention, the platform workers. I regard our local hawkers as another group of workers essential to the functioning of our society that really need our attention. Exemplified by many of my Chinatown neighbors in the past, our pioneer hawkers started off as humble folks who just want to earn enough to feed their families. They worked very hard, but is satisfied with getting meager profits. As a result, we were able to enjoy cheap and good hawker food for a long time. Today, in the 21st century, hawkers are facing tremendous headwinds with high rental, shortage of manpower, unfair competition, and increasing constraint from corporatization. But the persistent society's expectation to provide cheap and good food. This situation is not sustainable. At the rate we are going, our traditional hawker culture, which is based on the hard work and enterprise of individual hawkers, will slowly wither away. Corporatization of the hawker trade is a natural development of the market economy, but we can ensure a more level playing field for our individual hawkers to thrive and flourish. The current plight of our hawkers is at least partly due to the policies laid down by the government. The onus is now on the government to consider our suggestions to provide better support for hawkers in the future.